Yeah, I thought so. I didn't think his command was too good in the beginning with his fastball, and it got him into some trouble today. And then he seemed to find it as we got later in the game. I thought his split got better as it got later in the game. And, he finds a way to make adjustments and to hang around in a sense. You talk about sometimes you let teams hang around and they end up coming back. Well, that's what he does. When he struggles a little bit in the beginning, he hangs around and gets you to the seventh inning.
What do you think it is about him that allows him to have the ability to do that?
I just think he's really good at making adjustments. He has that ability. He's learned how to do it, and that allows him to stay in games.
You mentioned pregame the need for distance from him. Did he pretty much give you exactly what you wanted?
Yeah. He did a good job. We knew we were short in our bullpen today. If it would have been a quick eighth, I was sending him back out there, or bottom of the seventh. He was going back out. But once it got a little bit long and we got a couple more runs, I decided to go to Betanzas, who did another outstanding job.
Teixeira had a couple of good at-bats for you today, including another homer, 4 in his last 5 games. What are you seeing in his at-bats?
He's just in a good place right now. He's swinging the bat really well in the middle of the order, and we need that.
Overall, offensively, what did you see today for a team that has had a little bit of a malaise lately?
Yeah, well, I thought we made adjustments to Odorizzi today. The first time through the lineup, he did a pretty good job against us and was ahead of us in a lot of cases. I thought one of the key at-bats that maybe goes unnoticed a little bit was Solarte's 12-pitch at-bat in the bottom of the third. Made him work really hard, and it was kind of a longer inning. The next inning, we get 2 runs, and then we start scoring runs after that. But I thought, we adjusted to him. We haven't seen the kid much, and we adjusted to him.
David, Danny.
Joe, after last night, how important is it, and also how impressive is it to bounce back and get?
Well, I think it's important. I also think it's really impressive. I talked about it in the pregame. I think this is a pretty resilient group. It's a veteran group that understands that you're going to have games like last night. It's going to happen, and it's extremely frustrating at the time, but every day is a new day. That's the great thing about our game. We don't have to wait a week. We don't have to usually wait even 2 days. It's usually the next day you get right back out and you forget about it. And I think it was important.
Danny.
Joe, earlier in the year, I guess right at the start of the year, there was some question about whether with Teixeira, his wrist, was it going to allow him to drive the ball as much? Not just the home runs, but the fact that they're going quite a ways.
Yeah.
Are you starting to think he is or can be just the same guy he was pre-injury?
Well, I never doubted it. I said all along, I think he's a guy that can be 30 and 100 for us. I really do. I think for Tex, part of it was getting through spring training and knowing in his mind and also physically that he could let it go. And when I saw him let it go the last week left-handed, it made me feel a lot more comfortable about what type of hitter he would be when he came back for us.
Chad.
Joe, you all talked a lot in spring training about how well Masahiro handled the adjustments to all the off-the-field stuff and handled all that pressure. Is there some connection between his ability to handle that and the stuff you've seen him handle on the field?
Maybe. Understanding what he needs to do off the field to be successful is probably just as important as knowing what he has to do on the field to be successful. Because you bring that to the park every day with you. And if there's frustration or other things going on in your life, it can affect how you perform on the field. But I think his embracing everything has been really important.
Dave and Anthony.
Joe, are you saying that if the game stayed tighter that you would have thought of going with?
I was sending him out to face Joyce.
Okay. And the way that he came back against Jennings when he was down 3-0 and came back to finish that off. That kept him alive beyond that and maybe even for the next one.
Yeah, well, I liked the way he was throwing the ball, and I was going to send him back out to face Joyce.
Anthony.
Joe, the 2 balls that came back at Tanaka, where did he get hit on the first one and the second one? How close was that to it? Looked like it might have hit him in the face if he didn't get his glove up there.
Well, the second one, I believe, was the glove. The first one hit him in the ankle a little bit. And he's okay. Obviously, I think that was in the second inning. He went out and pitched 5 more innings, so he's okay. But, that's no fun to have balls hit at you. I know that's what made me quit pitching.
Jorge.
Joe, how different of a guy was Teixeira last year in terms of how he was limited physically?
Oh, I think there was a huge difference. Even though, he thought that maybe he would get through it, I don't think it was ever completely healthy, even though it probably felt good. It probably was never at full strength.
Clap over to your right, Joe.
Joe, as much as any game in early May could be important, I mean, it really did need a good game today from Tanaka. Do you find yourself counting on him now, or maybe actually depending on him to have a good start every time he takes the mound?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I think you know what you're going to get from him. You're going to get a guy that really is going to compete and is going to give you distance and going to keep you in a game, give you every opportunity to win it. So I think that's fair to say.
Joe, I know you poured on some runs at the end, but Kelly's home run there gave you guys the lead, and he hasn't played a lot. How has he been able to stay sharp given the lack of playing?
Well, we try to get him some at-bats when we can. He's professional. He's been in that role before. We've seen a lot of lefties. I mean, it seems like we're seeing a lefty almost every day now. But he's prepared, and, he's been in that situation before, and I think it's helped.
Dave.
Joe, Tanaka threw, I think, 113 pitches. How many more could he have gone?
I was sending him out just for Joyce.